Good afternoon, colorists. I am Miela Yando with Badass Art, and I'm here today to work on a very fair complected skin tutorial. And I am using Botany Bay from Land of Floridale. And I've chosen to use today the Faber-Castell Flesh Tone pencil set. And they are available on Amazon. I believe there are 12 in the set. But I've chosen, they don't have names, they just have numbers. And these are 801, 802, and 803. But I'm trying to get them lined up here. Yeah, that's 801, 802, and 803. I'm going to start with 801. It is a very, very pale milky cream. We're just going to kind of get a feel for this. And if you hear a bunch of booms and crashes in the background, we're kind of in the middle of a thunderstorm here, so just some rain and wind, no big deal, but that's what it is. Let's see, that might be too close. Sorry about that. Now, on these super light complected portraits, it's easy to get too dark too quickly. So what I normally like to do is choose 3 colors: a shadow, a contour like, and a highlight, and then the color that you want the majority of the skin to be. Go in and put the darkest color in first. That way you're not going to go any darker than that. And so when you go in with your other pencils, immediately you're going to know if it's too dark, if it's too light. Like right now, this is the darkest shade that I'm going to add to this. And it's really hard to find skin tone pencils that are this fair. It's kind of strange when you get into skin tones. It's hard to find really good dark skin tones, and it's hard to find light skin tones. The ranges in the middle are usually pretty accurate. They're usually pretty reliable. You can get what you want. You can make it work. But, it's really hard when everything is just too dark. I have a cousin who is incredibly pale complected. I would even say that she's, close to having albinism, and it's very difficult. When you think about it, how would you do this portrait? It's not a pure white skin. It's definitely, it's a shade, but, I was thinking about right before I started this video, what pencils would I choose to do a realistic portrait of someone whose skin was just that fair. So that's a good shout out to the powers that be that make these pencil colors. We need choices and we need range. But this one is doing really well right now. I'm happy with this color. I'm hoping that the storm subsides long enough for me to upload this video. I've kind of had trouble uploading videos for the last couple of weeks because of the storms. It kind of messes with the internet connection. And I'm just kind of going in and using very light hand. These pencils have plenty of pigment. They're an oil-based pencil. I'm sure that you guys have sort of noticed by now. I tend to lean towards oil-based pencils. I'm a layers person. I like to go over them lots of times. But they have a black wooden barrel, and they are triangular. I don't know if they really show. Yeah, they are triangular, so they're very comfortable to hold. And they have like this nice little tab at the end to show you what color you're working with, and it's pretty accurate. I mean, it's pretty close to what it's giving out here on the other end. They're very creamy for an oil pencil, and I think that's why I enjoy working with them. They're not chalky like the Brute Fooners. To me, the Brute Fooners feel a little chalky, and I find those enjoyable, but in a different way. These feel almost not creamy like Prismas. I would compare these more with like an Indra or a Black Widow. Very squishy, that's a good word. They're very spongy. They've got a lot of give to them. I'm just kind of going over this these shadowy grayscale parts. I'm just going right over top of it. Small circles. It makes it really easy to blend the other colors in when you go in like this. Now, in most pencil sets, you'll find a very pale beige or cream, and that's usually sufficient to do a shadow for a very pale portrait, you can add like a very pale, I'm trying to think of them, it's not really a brown, it's more of a tan. The two together make a really nice kind of a soft undertone. But if you have a set of pencils where the shade is already laid out for you, it's always easier just to grab that pencil instead of trying to mix your flesh tones to get, you know, a certain look on your own. But doable. We can do anything. I'm going to go back over here. Close enough. There's nothing, you know, nothing fancy's happening. I'm just, you know, very lightly adding a layer of color, just light hand. Lots of patience. You just have to enjoy the process. It has stormed. It stormed for, it feels like weeks. Okay, I'm gonna work on the upper part of her face for, and I'm gonna grab another pencil just so that you can see the different colors going in. This is 802, and it's got just a little more peach in it. I'm just gonna go in very lightly. Very, very lightly. And you can see that that color is so pale. You really kind of have to give it a layer or two before it even will blend back in with that shadow color. But that's okay. We'd rather it be too light than too dark. I'm trying to make sure my camera's staying in focus. And you can see how the first layer doesn't actually, you can still see that line. But when you go in very lightly, it's just very, very light, and you blend it all the way back into that shadowy color, that line goes away. But then coming forward, you don't need to do 2 layers. You want this to be light, so you only need 1 layer coming forward. I hope that makes sense. I'm kind of adding the layer as I go. And you can see how this is really soft and very porcelain looking. And that's what we want. And it's really all about how much time and patience you're willing to give it. So far we've only used 2 colors. And kind of closing in on her forehead area. I'm going to add that third color in just so you can see. And now I'm going to pick up number 803, and it is very similar to 802, but it has a bit more rows in it. And we're just going to kind of warm her skin up just a little bit. We're just going to put one real light layer back here to kind of give her some health. And again, I'll continue on with her face. I just wanted you guys to see all three colors kind of in action. And they're so subtle. But once you get them on the paper, you can definitely see how they work together. And these last few tutorials have been by request. It's things that you guys are working on at home, and things that you are interested in learning. So definitely send me a message and let me know what you'd like me to teach next. Okay, it just gives her just a little touch of like a little rosy undertone. It's, like I said, it's subtle, but it does make a difference. And I can kind of see where I've been with it, even though it's super light. Okay. And that's a kind of a peek at her forehead, upper face area. And we'll call it a day on this one, just because we're at about 25 minutes already. And we'll come back next time and we'll finish the rest of her face and see if we get down to her neck. Where the shadows are a little darker, we just kind of use that darker shade, and as you know, if you can call it a darker shade. But we're going to stick with these three pencils, and we might pick up, like I was talking about, you know, in regular pencil sets, sometimes there's a pale tan, and sometimes you can mix it with white. I'm not going to do that. but I'm going to try and find one so that you can see what I'm talking about. But I hope everybody's having a good day. Thanks for bearing with the thunderstorm, and I will see you next time.